Sure, we have our props. You're going to want 2 blocks, a blanket, a strap, your yoga mat. And then we'll come to find a nice, comfortable seated position just to get through our warm-up stretches. So you're going to sit your butt on top of your block. I find that to be quite comfortable. And you have 2 options. You can sit with your knees bent, feet on the ground if sitting cross-legged is not comfortable, or you can sit with one heel in towards your groin and the other heel out in front of it. I'm just going to admit one last person into the class. Okay. So one more time, if you're just joining us, you're going to want to have your 2 blocks, a strap, your yoga mat, a blanket in case you need that support for your knees. And then when you're ready, we'll sit up nice and tall to start our warm-up stretches. So try to direct your knees down toward the ground right away. That gives you a really big quad and hip stretch. If you find it's too intense, place your prop underneath. Give yourselves a little bit more support. There's an imaginary magnet between your belly button and your spine, so you want to draw in nice and tight. It's not so much a sucking in. It's as if someone or like a child were to come and like ram you in the stomach. It's like you're bracing for impact, that kind of activation. So not a sucking in, but an activation. You're drawing your shoulders all the way back, so as if there is a pencil in between your shoulder blades that you don't want to move. And then lastly, there's an imaginary string on the crown of your head pulling you up nice and tall. We'll start with the neck. You're going to take your right hand to the left side of your head. Carefully bring your right ear to your right shoulder. You should start to feel the stretch in the left side of your neck. You can stay here or walk the left fingertips away from you to intensify the stretch. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more inhale. As you exhale, drop your chin to your collarbone. Look down to the right knee. Walk the left fingertips away. So walking the left fingertips away, you should start to feel the stretch intensify in the back left side of your neck. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, drop your chin to your collarbone. Make some slow half circles, gently rocking your head side to side, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. The closer you bring your chin towards your chest, the more of a stretch you will get. And then carefully lift up. Let's switch sides. So bring your left ear to your left shoulder, left hand to the right side of your head. Carefully walk the right fingertips away, feeling the stretch in the right side of your neck. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more big inhale. And then exhale, tip your chin towards your collarbone. Look down toward the left knee. Walk the right fingertips away. So I should mention today's class is going to work on balance. I've had a lot of requests for balancing work. And our peak final pose is going to be tree pose. So everything we do is going to open up the hips. It's going to challenge your stability and really get you prepared for a tree pose. Drop your chin towards your collarbone. Make some slow half circles again. We also move through quite a few vinyasas, which is just a fancy way to transition from one pose to another. They're completely optional. You can choose to skip them. You can modify them. I will offer all sorts of variations. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Start to round your upper body all the way forward. Look to your feet. Point the elbows down to the feet. When your next inhale comes, gaze will lift up past your screen toward the ceiling. Arch the spine, cow pose. And then exhale, round back forward. Point the elbows to the ground, cat pose. Inhale, open up, arch the spine. And then exhale, close. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And then exhale, let it go. Sitting up nice and tall. If you need to adjust your legs, you can recross them or you can just bend your knees, plant your feet. Inhale, lift up, palms meet at the top. Exhale, big press away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, lift up as high as you can. On the exhale, start to twist your torso to the right. Your right hand lowers down behind you like a kickstand. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg, so you're looking toward the right side of your room. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist the torso even more. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Last time, inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, twist out all the way. Come on, back up to neutral as you inhale. Exhale, take it to the other side. Left hand behind. Right hand to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Again, inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist again. Last time, inhale. Exhale, twist out all the way. And then come on back up to neutral as you inhale. Exhale, let it go. Plant your right hand down, have a little bend in the right elbow, reach your left arm all the way up and over, finding that nice side body stretch. Your side body is an imaginary muscle. It starts in the armpit, travels down the rib cage, and stops by about the hip. We always want to make sure there's a bend in that right elbow here because we don't want your joints taking the impact. We want your muscles holding the impact in your body weight. Inhale to sit back up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up and over. Same idea here. Make sure you're bending the left elbow to protect your joints and your bones. Good. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then inhale to sit back up. So if you need to adjust your legs, feel free to do so now. Grab your strap. You're going to make your strap nice and wide and take your pass-throughs. So for your pass-throughs, going all the way up and overhead is an option. However, if you're feeling a little tight today, just go up overhead and then back down. If you want to use your breath, if you're feeling super tight, go for that modification. Good. And if you want more of a challenge, feel free to shorten your grip. Let's try just 2 more here. And last one. Good. Now, so make your grip a little bit shorter, about knees width, and you're going to bring your arms up into a letter Y shape. Now bend your elbows, create a goalpost shape. So I want your elbows and your shoulders in one straight line. You're puffing your chest out, drawing the shoulder blades back. So if I were to come to your homes and place a pencil in between your shoulder blades, it should not move. You're super active here. Shaking and trembling in the chest is completely okay, but holding your breath is not okay. So take a big inhale here. Exhale out all the way. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Big inhale. And then exhale, let it go. Last stretch with the strap. You're going to place the strap in your right hand. You're going to swing your strap around, bend the elbow. So we want elbow, shoulder, hip connection here. Wrap your left arm around your back, and you're going to grab the strap, going for your tricep stretch. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, let that go. Shake it off. Other side. Strap comes in the left hand, bend the left elbow, wrap the right arm around, grab the strap, and pull. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, let that go. Nice work. So toss your strap off to the side. Block can also come out to the side. So I actually, just to set ourselves up, I want you to have one block on one edge of your mat and then the other one on the other edge of your back, because we're going to use all sides of the block of the mat today. So when you're ready, let's come to a tabletop position. If you're someone who has sensitive knees, I recommend having a blanket underneath your knees for the remainder of class. Coming into your tabletop position. So in your tabletop, all 10 fingers are facing to the top of your mat. Shoulders are stacked high on top of the hands. Spine is long. Belly button is still drawing in nice and tight. Hips above the knees. Tuck your toes into the mat. And let's just move through some cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, look up to the ceiling. This is cow pose. And then exhale, push your hips forward, look to the mat behind you for cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, look up, cow. Exhale, push your hips forward for cat. Come back to a neutral position. Now I want you to take both your fingertips out to either edge of the mat and move through another cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips. And then exhale, push your hips forward. So now you're adding a little bit of some wrist engagement and a wrist stretch. So you can stay here, do a couple of more, or you can rotate your fingers to face your knees. If you have really sensitive wrists, I recommend not going to that deepest point. 2 more. And last one. Good. Come on back to a neutral tabletop. Take your right knee all the way out to the side and then back down. So a little bit of a adduction. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale. And then exhale, you're going to lift it back up, make some little circles with your knee. Maybe you get a little bit of a crack or a pop. Those are good cracks and pops. I'm getting about like 50 a rotation here. Circle in the other direction. And then drop your knee back down. Let's move to the other side so you can see my view. Don't change your view. You're going to lift the left leg up, lower it back down. If you have hip issues, this is a really great way to strengthen your outer hip and your outer glute, by the way. Lift the leg up, make some circles with the knee, and then circle the other direction. And then come on back to neutral. So from here, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. Using tabletop position, tuck your right toes back, tuck your left toes back. You're in plank pose. From your plank, hips come all the way up and back, downward facing dog. So first downward facing dog of the day, maybe of the week, so be gentle about it. Absolutely bend your knees here. Bending your knees makes downward dog a lot more bearable sometimes. Soft bend in the knees, lift the hips up nice and high. Push your chest all the way back towards your thighs. And ultimately, I want there to be a straight line between your hips, your shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And you know you're there when you feel your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. You know you're in that alignment when you feel a really, really big chest and upper back stretch here. One more inhale, fill up all the way. As you exhale, bend your knees deeply, rest your belly on your thighs. You're going to walk your hands back toward your feet and come to a forward fold position. From your forward fold, nod your head yes, shake it no. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, rise up to stand. Good, so moving through a couple of sun breaths. From the top of your mat, I want there to be about hips width distance in between your feet. That's 2 fists in between your feet. Standing up nice and tall. When you're ready, inhale, lift up all the way, palms meet at the top, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale at the top. Second one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, lower down. This time you're going to hold on to opposite elbows here in ragdoll position. So in your ragdoll, absolutely bend your knees. You're looking for the back of your mat. Try to frame your head with your arms. Nod your head yes. Shake it no. Sway side to side. So you should be feeling a really nice lower back and hamstring stretch here. Wrap your hands around your waist. Inhale, rise back up to stand. We're going to come down one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, lower down again. This time, make a peace sign with your fingers. Take your peace sign fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Elbows spin out to either side of your room. Bend your knees till you get to your toes. Inhale, lift your hips up a little higher. Exhale, fold your upper body toward your lower body. So from a side view, this is what we look like. I have my belly resting on my thighs. I'm going to lift the hips up as I inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm drawing my upper body toward my lower body. And I happen to have exceptionally open hamstrings. So if you have tight hamstrings, keep your knees bent. You can still do the same stretching with bent knees. Doesn't make you a bad person, just means you have tight hamstrings. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, rise up to stand. So moving through our first sun salutation, come to the top of your mat. I'm going to modify for the first one. You choose whichever is best for you. You can skip them completely and just come straight to downward facing dog or even child's pose if down dog doesn't feel quite comfortable. So at the top of your space, big inhale, reach up all the way. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. From your plank, drop your knees down, shift your chest past your hands, hug the elbows in, lower to the bottom of a modified push-up. You're going to lift the chest up, baby cobra pose. Push the mat away, bend the knees, hips over the knees, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So second downward facing dog of the day. Setting yourselves up again for that big upper back stretch. So bend the knees a little bit. Rest your belly on your thighs. Keep that connection. Lift the hips a little higher. And then push your chest back towards your thighs. Remove the belly from the thighs. So all that I want you to feel is your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. Take 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale out all the way, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. Second one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank. So you can move through the modified like we just did by dropping the knees, or take the more traditional version. You're going to shift your chest past your hands, hug the elbows in, lower down to the bottom of a push-up. Hover for a moment. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here again in downward facing dog. So I want downward facing dog to start to feel like a neutral place for you. It should be a place to reset in between sequences and postures. And if it is not, you can always drop down to your knees, take a child's pose. We're here for 2 more breaths before we move on. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. Great. So now that we're nice and warm, moving on to our standing sequences. So we're going to start with a lunge, a low lunge rather. So if you have sensitive knees, have a mat or a blanket, some sort of cushion in the middle of your space. Your left leg is going to stay forward. Take a big step back with your right foot. So we're just in high lunge momentarily to set it up. I want you to shimmy your right leg as far back as you can get it, and then drop the knee down. Uncurl the right toes. Your left foot is forward, so you should have a knee to ankle alignment here on the left side. I don't want you to have a big arch in the spine. I want you to have a nice straight torso, so draw your tailbone down to the ground, and then push your body weight forward. So you should feel like a lengthening sensation in the left side, a little bit of a pinching sensation in the right side. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Here's your low lunge. So we're just opening up the hips a little bit. We definitely need some hip openers to have a successful tree pose. You're going to drop your hands down. Hands will frame the front foot. Left hand plants down. Right arm reaches all the way up here in your twist. Low lunge twist is really great for your upper back, your thoracic spine. Try to have your hands directly on top of each other. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. And then you're going to exhale out. Drop the left hand down. Curl your right toes into the mat. Come on off your right knee. You're going to gently step your right foot up to meet your left at the top of your space. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. So your left leg is still forward. You're going to take a big step back with your right. Whoops. And then you're going to pivot on the right foot. So we're preparing for Warrior 2. So in Warrior 2, first your toes are facing out toward the long edge of your mat, but then I want you to rotate your toes so that they're facing the right diagonal side of your mat. We want to have a heel to arch alignment here in your Warrior 2. And as always, your right knee is tracking up, your left knee is tracking above your left ankle. So left leg forward, right leg back, sorry. Your right leg is stick straight. And then when you're ready, you're going to open up your arms into Warrior 2. So what you should feel is this big outward rotation of the left hip. A nice activation here. You don't want to have spaghetti arms. You want to have nice straight arms here. Stay for 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. And then as you exhale, all you're going to do is tip your warrior back, reverse warrior. You're going to bring your right arm down towards the back of your thigh. Your left arm will reach all the way up and over. Maintain those Warrior 2 legs so your left knee stays bent. Do not straighten it. It certainly activates that left hip a little bit more. Hold for 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Come on back to your Warrior 2. Now hands frame the front foot. Spin back on your right toes. Pause. Carefully step your left leg back to meet your right. You're in plank. Moving through whatever variation of vinyasa works well for you, or coming straight to downward facing dog. Good. 3 more breaths here in downward dog, and if you need a break, absolutely move to child's pose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more inhale. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. Stay as you are. I'm just going to switch my view for you. So now, the right foot's going to stay forward, and your left leg is going to take a big step back. So I recommend having your right foot toward the outer corner of your mat. Take a big step back with the left leg. We're just setting it up in high lunge momentarily. We want to shimmy that left leg as far back as you can, and then drop the left knee down. And if you have knee issues, hopefully that left knee lands right on your support. We want to bend into the right knee so that you have that knee to ankle alignment here. Arch your spine, draw the tailbone down toward the ground, and then reach the arms up for low lunge. So same as the other side, you feel a nice lengthening stretch in the left hip, a little bit of a pinching activation in the right hip. Hold for 2 more breaths. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop your left hand toward the mat, reach your right fingertips up for your low lunge twist. So now, the more you twist open to the right, and the further forward you lean, you might start to feel some outer hip action going on. A little bit of an activation out there, just like we did in that fire hydrant position where we were lifting our hip up and down from tabletop. Same muscle. One more inhale. And then exhale, drop the right hand down. You're going to curl your left toes into the mat. Come on off your left knee. Carefully step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. So, right foot still stays forward. Take a big step back with your left leg, setting up for warrior 2 here. So, same idea, we want that heel to arch alignment. Your right knee is still tracking above your right ankle. Your left leg, your back leg is as straight as possible, and you're pressing into the pinky toe edge of that foot, and then arms come into your warrior 2 position. So we never want spaghetti arms here. You want to have a nice active reach, as if your middle fingernails were about 5 feet longer and can reach other ends of your room. 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. As you exhale, you're just going to tip back, reverse warrior. So your left hand drops down onto the back of your thigh, and you're going to reach your right arm all the way up and over, still maintaining that deep bend in the right knee. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more inhale. As you exhale, come back to warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. They're framing the front foot, your right foot. You're going to pivot onto the ball mound of your left foot. Get nice and firm on the hands. Carefully step your right foot back to meet your left. And then move through your vinyasa or come straight to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog or child's pose is your option. We're here for about 5 breaths. So if you need a chance to reset, absolutely take it. 2 more breaths here. One more inhale, fill up all the way. As you exhale, bend your knees deeply, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. So back to the top of your space. You're going to take a big step back with your right foot. And you're going to come into like a straddle position here. So toes are facing the long edges of your mat. Arms come out into a T shape. We're going to take some wide-legged forward folds here. So I recommend, before we go any further, having your blocks right out in front of you in case you need them. From here, arms come out into a T position. You're going to roll the shoulders all the way back, open up the chest, take a big inhale. As you exhale, fold the chest forward, hands come down to the ground. If your hands do not comfortably touch the ground, place your hands on your 2 blocks or supports. If you need more support, Widening your feet gives you a little bit more space to reach the floor. If you want to challenge yourselves a little bit more, shorten your stance. If you can comfortably place your hands on the floor, I want you to walk your hands back towards your feet, line them up with the arches of your feet, and then you're going to bend the elbows, start to tip your upper body forward. So in a perfect yoga world, the crown of your head touches the ground here in this straddle position. And I don't say that just to set up the standard and the expectation for the pose, but I want you to understand where you're trying to position your body to go. So all that means is you're pressing your chest back towards your thighs, just like we do in downward facing dog. And you should feel that really, really big adductor muscle activation. That's the inside of your thighs here. If you've been doing a lot of walking, running, bicycling, this is also a really great stretch to keep your hips nice and safe. Now our exit is just as important. So we've been almost inverted for a little while. In yoga, inverted means your head is below your heart, right? So we have all the blood rushing to our head. You never want to just pop up. That's going to make you dizzy. It's always an inhale every time we go from down to up. So let's do it together. Everybody, as you're down, take an inhale. Exhale out all the way. Now wrap your hands around your waist. Give it a squeeze. Firm up in the feet. Inhale. Rise up to stand. Great. And then you're going to carefully pivot your feet back so that you are standing in mountain pose. So in your mountain pose, we're now going to move into tree pose, our peak position here today in class. So we're going to start with the left leg being your tree trunk and the right leg being your tree leg. You're going to pick a spot in front of you that's not moving. Don't let it be me on the screen. I'm super wobbly today. You're going to lift all 5 of your left toes up and then place them back on the floor nice and firm. You're going to squeeze up on the left quad. So this is your tree trunk leg. It does not move. Come on up onto the right tippy toes. You can stay here and then start to bring your right toes into your right ankle. So if tree pose is new for you or if you're feeling a little unstable today, this is a perfect place to stay. If you would like to advance, take your right foot to the inside of your left calf. This is also another great option. Your final option would be to bring your right foot to the inside of your thigh, never ever on the knee, and then press in. So if you find that like you're halfway between your calf and your thigh and you're pressing onto your knee, I'd rather you go lower. Tree pose is a progression. No need to push it. Now draw your belly button in nice and tight towards your spine like you're bracing for impact. There's an imaginary string on the crown of your head pulling you up nice and tall. You are still staring at that imaginary spot in front of you and it's helping you stay stable. And then maybe inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. We want to rotate the pinkies toward each other here so that you are sort of hugging into that imaginary midline that naturally runs through the body. Stay for 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out, and then let that go. Nice job. Shake it off. All right, so let's try the other side. So your right leg is now your tree leg. You're going to lift your toes up and then plant them back down. Get the foot nice and firm. Really utilize your big toe. Press your right big toe firmly into the mat. Squeeze your right quad nice and tight. This is your tree trunk leg. Wrap your hands around your waist. Now come up onto the ball mount of the left foot. Bring your left foot to your right ankle. Stay here or bring it into your calf. Stay here or bring it into the inside of your thigh. Before we go any further, pick a spot that's not moving. Stare at it. Draw in nice and tight, your belly button to your spine, like there's a magnet between the two. And then maybe you're going to reach up through the fingertips. We want to actively lengthen through the fingernails. Rotate your pinkies to face each other. Hold it here and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Nice job. Shake it out. Come to the top of your space. We're moving through one more vinyasa, then we're seated for the remainder of class. Inhale, lift up all the way, palms meet at the top, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. Either moving through your modified, your traditional, or skipping it completely. We're all going to meet in downward facing dog one more time. So final downward facing dog of the day. Just give yourselves a little body scan. Hopefully it feels much better than the first one. Push your chest back towards your thighs. Feel the upper body lift and the spine sink. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, drop down to your knees. You're going to make your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, heels apart, and then just sit back on your heels. Forehead comes to the mat in your wide-legged child's pose. If your forehead does not comfortably touch the mat, place your forehead on top of your blanket. I don't love it being on top of the block. I think that's a little too high for the neck. And then walk your fingertips as far forward as you can. Carefully walk your fingertips over to the right corner of your mat, keeping the connection between your left hip and your left heel. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, walk your hands all the way over to the other corner. Good. Carefully make your way back to the middle of your child's pose. And then you're going to shift forward onto your tabletop position and then make your way to a seated position. So I recommend having your strap nearby. We may or may not need it. And you're going to send your legs out straight in front of you. So in yoga, we like to say get the flesh away from your sit bones. And all that really means is I want you to just literally move your butt cheeks out of the way. If you've taken my foam rolling class before, sometimes we lie over the foam roller underneath our lower back. We windshield wipe the legs, and you feel that little pinch. That's your sit bone. I want you to feel your sit bone into the ground right now. It should not hurt, but you should feel like 2 bones plugging into the floor. So that gives us a little bit more space to work with the hamstrings and the calf. So we're moving into Paschimottanasana. If you know that you cannot touch your feet, it does not make you a bad person. It just means you have tight hamstrings and you need a little more support. That's where your strap comes in. You will lasso your strap around your feet. Inhale, roll the shoulders all the way up and back. And then as you exhale, you're drawing your chest towards your thighs. And maybe you're crawling your hands up the strap a little bit more. Maybe as you get down, you get rid of the strap completely. I want there to be no rounding in the back, which is why I love the strap, because the strap kind of helps you to retract your shoulder blades. Shoulder retraction means you're pulling your chest back. Pulling the shoulders back, that imaginary pencil in between your shoulder blades, that's the cue for shoulder retraction. The more you curl your toes towards your face, the deeper of a calf stretch you will get. And go somewhere where you can breathe comfortably. Yoga and stretching does nothing for you if you are in a place where you cannot breathe. 1 more inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way and then carefully come up to sit. So moving into half Paschimottanasana. Your right leg is going to come out to the side. You're going to place your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. You're going to twist your torso to face the right leg, and then you're going to walk your hands out. So strap is there if you need it. But what I ultimately want you to do is take your left hand to the outside of your right leg, whether you're holding onto your foot or your calf, and pulling on the right side, then intensifies the stretch in like the left lower back area. Should feel pretty good. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, stay facing to the right. You're going to walk your right forearm to the inside of your right thigh, and if that's far away for you, place the block underneath your right forearm, and then reach your left arm all the way up and over. Still getting into the left lower back region. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Let's sit up and switch. So coming to the other side, left leg comes out. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. You're going to rotate your torso so that you're facing the left leg, and then just walk your body all the way forward. When you cannot get down any further, you're then going to take your right hand to the outside of wherever you can on the left leg, whether that be your calf or your foot. And then once you get a good grip, you're going to pull. So it's like you're pulling your left leg toward the right side of your mat, and you should feel that lower back stretch on the opposite side now. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop your left forearm to the inside of your thigh or maybe onto your block if you'd like a little more support. And then you're going to arc your right arm all the way up and over. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale that all the way, and then inhale to sit back up. Great. So let's move the props out of your space. We're going to lie down for just one more pose before we close out class. It's a supine pigeon pose. So pigeon pose on your back. You're going to lie down all the way. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze. Gently just rock side to side. Get that nice lower back stretch. And then you're going to plant your feet on the ground. Bend your knees. From here, you're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. This is a great option if this is enough for you. If you'd like more, you're then going to lift the left leg off of the ground. Take your right arm. Send it through that window between your legs. Your left hand is going to meet. You're going to interlace your fingers behind the left leg. So what I want you to end up doing is you're pulling your left leg towards your body and simultaneously pressing the right side away. So this is pigeon pose on our backs. Lots of feelings going on here. It's not the happiest place in the world sometimes, but a very necessary one. You should feel like a nice pinching sensation in the right side, like a right activation here. Hold for 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, gently let that go. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze. And then let's go for the other side. Bend your knees, plant your feet on the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. This is a perfectly great option to stay. Or you're going to lift the right leg off the ground. Take your left arm, wrap it through that window of your legs. Right hand meets, and you're going to interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. If you're going for this option, you're pulling your right leg towards your body and simultaneously pressing the left side away. One side might feel differently than the other, better or worse. That doesn't make you a bad yogi. It just means that maybe unintentionally you prefer one side over the other. So it's really important to be mindful that we sort of bear weight and balance on both sides. So for example, if you're someone that holds a backpack or a pocketbook on one side, when you're sitting, if you lean to one side, if you're a side sleeper, all of these things create slight little imbalances. So just something to be aware of. Carefully let this go and hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze and just gently rock side to side on your lower back. And then from here, you're going to release your legs, lower down to lie down flat on your back for your final pose, Shavasana. And your only job in Shavasana is just to breathe to my voice and to my direction. Close your eyes. Release any last little movements, any last little thoughts, your to-do list, whatever's happening in 5 minutes, you will get there. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. Inhale, fill up, feel the belly rise. Exhale, notice the belly fall. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Take 2 more breaths on your own, counting in your own head to yourselves. Noticing the sense of peace and stillness that you can create for yourselves, and how all it takes is just to be more mindful of your breathing. This is a really powerful tool, always available to you off of your mat and in real time. Gently start to come back to a more natural breath. Bring some tiny movements to your body by wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Reach your arms up all the way overhead, finding a nice long body stretch. Point your toes away. And then one more time, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze. Gently just rock side to side. And then you're going to raise your right arm over your head. Your bicep will become a little bit of a pillow as you carefully roll all the way over to one side. From there, you're going to press your left hand into the ground. Come on back up to a seated position. And you are all done today, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dani.